We're
Yeah, we're back. Back in action. Haven't recorded
back in the saddle again.
Haven't recorded in a while. It's been a minute.
Like that.
Been a minute.
It's been a minute.
How was your road trip?
Road trip's great.
You were in Wichita. You were in
whoa.
Ohio.
Yeah, sure.
You were in
I was on a big tour bus, just floating around.
Simi Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you go all that. I am going to Pittsburgh next week.
Denmark. You going back to Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
Wow.
By popular demand.
Steel City.
Yeah.
Dice should
One of
wear.
my favorites.
And you, but mainly
Whoa,
Dice.
whoa. Okay.
You should wear the football.
Now we got to dress as twins?
The football jersey of the city he's in, like a Steelers jersey.
Oh, my God. That would be amazing.
I can't imagine him
Only
in a
because he
football
would be
jersey.
like, what's this team? Like, he doesn't do sports.
Which would be great.
So, yeah. He knows, like, a few of them. Like, somebody, one of his doctors was like, hey, you want to hang out with blah, blah, blah. And he said the name. And Andrew was like, I don't know who that is. And then I was like, wait, are you kidding? It was like a sports.
Who was it?
I don't want to say.
Larry Bird?
But it's just so bad that, like.
Why is the doctor setting him up for social calls?
Oh, no, just like friendly.
Oh,
'cause
friend
they're
doc.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Like, it's a friend of his. But he was like, yeah, I don't know who that is. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, just don't talk to people.
He should. I'm gonna pitch him on
Because
this.
I don't do sports, It's not his thing.
Yeah. Well,
And that's why we get along so well.
we're doing a sports documentary today. What do you like a documentary like this about sports?
I love I love sports, period. But I love this kind of documentary. It's kind of my favorite.
This was a good one. This
was
me.
I forgot it. We watched this already. Not you.
Yeah, I did
Me
not.
and my family watched it.
I did not. We're coming off of
Some hard ones.
Taking Care of Maya, and then we had Anna Nicole.
They were all down.
Yeah, we're having some low times.
But what we have to talk about what we were gonna watch.
Yeah, that's what I was
Sorry.
getting into. A listener, longtime listener, Danish and O'Neill podcast, I believe listens to Beach Cops as well on Patreon. Check that out if you haven't.
And is now going to be heartbroken.
His name's Carrie. He emailed me. He's like, hey, man, you got to check out this. He's been asking me to watch this thing for years. It's called Stevie. Came out, I think, in 2002, maybe.
Okay.
So I got it, paid the money on
Me
YouTube.
too.
I've never paid for anything on YouTube. It was my first time.
I think I have. I rented something for my mom one time, like an old movie.
Yeah, never done it.
We hadn't seen in a while.
I felt very 2023. This isn't the blockbuster days anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
Days. But it is a great option that you can rent or buy, and they do have all that stuff.
Did you rent or buy?
I think I rented.
Same.
Yeah.
We have 48 hours.
Oh, shit. Because I think I should watch it.
So I started.
But you made me nervous.
So I started watching it, and it's got that good grainy quality of an old documentary.
Okay.
Visually. And then
they wanted to make it as creepy as what they were about to tell.
So the director he went to college in Illinois somewhere, like I forget the college. It was like not like a main school you've heard of, but like whatever. So he was in the Big Brother program. He had this little brother, this guy named Stevie. And then he graduated, and he's like, I was so relieved to like not have to see him every week when I graduated. So then he, as an adult, decides to like go visit his life. And he was like a troubled kid, I think, in and out of trouble. He'd get in trouble. His mom didn't want him. Lived with his like great step grandmother, which I thought was weird.
Step grandma. Oh, interesting.
So not as by blood. So
I get it.
But his mom, growing up, lived in a trailer like 50 yards down.
Okay.
But just like wanted nothing to do with him.
Oh no.
But like 20 minutes in, this guy gets arrested for molesting his 8-year-old niece, I believe. And his sister's like, oh yeah, he molested me when we were kids.
Oh no.
And then the director's like, the guy's like, my mom set me up on this. He's like, oh, you didn't do it? And he's like, I like confessed to all of it. And I was like, oh boy. So after all this stuff, we've been going through some tough.
And it's like it's almost a 3-hour.
Yeah, it's long, going through some tough topics. I pulled the plug. As Big
Sorry.
Lebowski would say, 8-year-olds, dude.
8-year-olds, dude.
Yeah,
that
come
was
on.
Literally, I turned it on the other night. I just turned the TV on, and I'm elderly, so I still have cable. And so it was that scene. He was walking up. Nobody messes with the Jesus.
When's the Jesus movie coming out?
I already saw it.
Oh, it's
came
out? When was that?
It didn't. I don't think it did well.
Did it stream or was it in theaters?
That part I don't know, but I did watch it recently.
Did they
and
get
I was like,
into-
this is good. Is this? But it just didn't pick. I love him. He can.
Did they get into him being a molester?
No. Not
A
that I
tie to
remember.
this documentary is his sister was Tony Soprano's sister.
Yeah, but
What a talented family.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a link. I'm making a link. Come on, catch up.
Making a link.
You got to keep up here.
Yeah, I get it. I got to keep up.
You're in your Phillies orange, your creamsicle.
Well, you know what? This is Dyer's. Sorry.
Why do you have an orange Dodgers sweatshirt?
Well, my ex was obsessed with the Dodgers.
And he's
so
like, in case you go hunting and you want to have the
he
Dodgers.
was also a big hockey guy, so I have a lot of LA Kings stuff too, but it didn't match.
I'm from the Northeast, big hockey area. Never played hockey. Never.
What?
Never,
Wait, whoa. Not even like street hockey?
I went. No, I played like in gym. I'd play like floor hockey and stuff, but I never played ice hockey or.
Okay, I don't think I ever played real ice hockey. No,
Never been
but
to
I
a-
definitely played street ball.
Never
hockey.
been to a Bruins game. Not one. Never been to a pro hockey game.
Did you ever play hockey ball, like with the ball, not the puck?
Yeah, I think I did here and there.
So
Not
good.
not a lot.
Oh my god, we used to have so much fun.
We talked about Wayne's World before we were on
we
air.
did that. We
They
used
played.
to sneak out and do it in the middle of the night on Oregon Avenue.
What would they kept game on?
Game on.
Yeah,
game on.
So the cars.
Game up. Yeah,
Cars
we
coming
had to
through.
do the same thing because we played in the street. We would play in the playground. We did have a hockey court, but it was popular, and like people would be like older kids. If the older kids were there, you couldn't go because they were intense.
Where'd you keep the sticks in your house?
Yeah, in the basement.
Just grab
Where
all
we
the
keep everything.
You just grab all the sticks, go out at
That
midnight.
poor basement for a long time.
Just go out for some midnight hockey.
We used to the net we would keep in the yard, I believe, or did we even have one? We might have stole it, whatever. But I don't remember how that happened. I do remember.
Could use a shopping cart if
We
you
would-
tip it over on its side.
not a bad idea. But we would throw the sticks out the basement window. It's a little row home, so the basement window was little. We'd throw the sticks out, and then we'd crawl out the window and go play while my mom was watching TV upstairs.
How
She'd
long?
just be
What
like,
time
"Oh,
you get
they're in the
home?
basement."
2 in the morning.
Oh, it was late. And then my mom, if she fell asleep, she was out. So you could
So
do
you're out till 6 in the morning.
we did
Long games.
we did all kinds of
Just
weird
only
shit.
your family, or there are other people
No,
involved?
just us. No,
okay. Just
we were always out.
family games.
Yeah, that's why we're so tight, because it was like you didn't need to knock on the door and get your best friend in trouble.
We have your own. You have
we have our own tribe.
You have enough for
Yeah.
a team.
We have a whole team.
Enough for 2 teams. Yeah. So you can play.
But it would be great if we could get Fuji up, because he was our goalie.
Fuji?
That was his name.
Mr. Fuji, the
Mr.
wrestler?
Yeah, that's what we named him after.
He was an Asian fella,
Fuji.
I'm assuming?
Nope, not at all.
Why'd you call him Fuji?
Michael Puglisi.
You like Fuji apples?
The
What-
Fuge. Nah, I don't know. I
Just
think that was
Fuji.
his favorite. I'd have to ask Bobby. I don't want to get yelled at. Johnny Fax wouldn't know, so I could say whatever
Does
I
he
want.
throw
but,
salt in people's eyes? Or
But Fuji would be the goalie and no equipment. And we would just, I mean.
And those balls are hard.
Oh, yeah, but we did pucks and balls.
You get hit in the sack ever?
Nah.
Was he good, or was he-
probably?
was
No,
he-
he was good, but he would get in the stomach. Like, it would hit.
Was he trying to dodge it and let it by? Or was he,
He would
trying
block
to He
him.
was trying
Yeah.
to block
Oh, yeah,
it.
he would block
Was
it.
he built solid?
He was a little pudgy.
Bigger guy? Yeah.
Well,
So you're
not big, little.
so you're like, just get in the goal.
And he's like a normal person now. We're like, whoa.
Oh, he has like a real job?
Yeah.
He's Dr. Fuji? Do you guys still talk to him?
Yeah, my brother Bobby does. Yeah.
What's
Him
he-
and Bobby were best friends. Bobby and Fuji.
Do they still
was
see
it.
each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Fuji.
It's yeah.
Fuji, that sounds like a name that could be in this
Mr. Fuji.
documentary. We watched, I didn't realize this was part of a series called Untold on Netflix.
Well, see, I didn't know that either.
Because it said Untold, and I was like, what's Untold? But they did like a whole series of documentaries, I guess.
Yeah. So because this was recommended when you said abort mission.
Yeah.
I was at the Comedy Store and I was like, oh shit. So I was like, what could I? And I was talking to Emily, the booker, and she was like, oh my God, we were just talking about all these documentaries, her and another comic. And then she texted him and was like, hey, what were those? And she gave me a list, and I was like, oh, that's what these. So I didn't remember that I saw this before.
There was a woman in this who looked like Emily, the talent booker from the Comedy Store.
Which?
The lady in the motorized wheelchair.
You son of a bitch.
It did. It looked like
first of all, she was one of my favorites, and that's what I was trying to aspire to be. The big clothes were.
They were a hot
obviously
couple.
For
the two of them.
The greatest couple. You don't agree?
I didn't.
Okay, good.
I didn't disagree, did I? I was just listening to you.
I love them.
They were hot.
I mean,
did you notice that they showed them in footage of one of it's Untold, by the way, Crime and Penalties on Netflix.
Yeah, Crimes and Penalties.
It's about hockey. At one of the hockey games, they showed that couple. Did you notice? He was walking, she was wheeling. She doesn't walk. Walking, they were on camera during one of the game footage.
I
was like, I was like, look at them young. They were like, it was like 10, 15 years ago.
Well, they were part of the section.
They were part section 102, the craziest fans in town.
But we watched it. I remember my brothers going, you got to watch this documentary. You got to watch this documentary.
It's a great story.
I don't know if Fuji told Bobby to watch it, but somebody told Bobby to watch it, and we watched it.
Does your brother still call this guy Fuji?
Yes, absolutely. It's a fully grown man.
He has kids, I'm assuming?
Yes, he does. Fuji.
They're like, why is this guy calling you Fuji?
Man, nobody questions anything.
They just like, whatever.
They just go with it.
It's a nickname. So this is about, this is in Danbury, Connecticut. I'm assuming, I don't know I've heard of Danbury. Connecticut's a weird state
because you always think of Connecticut as money, right?
Parts of it,
or at least I do.
There are parts of it that are a little rough.
Yeah, but I never noticed. I never knew that. Yeah. So in my head, my first
you think
encounter,
of like Vince McMahon living in Connecticut.
Well, also one of my really good friends got married, and she invited me to a wedding. I took my mother, and my mother was like, "Should we be here?" Like it was a beautiful. The driveway to her house.
You guys deserve it.
Was over a mile.
Whoa. Yeah, there's certainly.
That's wild shit.
But I think there are some rough areas in Connecticut. But Connecticut's weird because
I didn't know. But this documentary, and then I worked in what's that? Oh shit! It's not gonna come.
Hartford?
To me. No, it's a casino.
Oh, Mohegan Sun?
Maybe that's the one. Where's comics?
I don't know what that is.
It's a comedy club. Okay, whatever. So it was a casino, and we got snowed in.
Probably Mohegan Sun.
And we got it was like The Shining. It was terrible, but we got to meet a lot of people, and we were like, oh wow, oh this isn't good. Oh okay.
Connecticut's weird though because depending on where you live in the state and where your parents are from, so you can either be diehard Red Sox and New England fans, or you can be Yankees. Yep, and I believe Danbury. I would guess. Judging by some of the stuff they said, it's closer.
That's pretty racist what you're about to say. But go ahead.
Closer to New York.
Yep, there you go. I knew you were going to say that. Just the way.
Well, they said this guy had owned a garbage business, and they said he serviced like
I'm
blah
saying
blah blah New York.
You're linking Italians.
No, I'm not linking anything. There's a ton of Italians everywhere in New England.
So good.
How dare you? So Jimmy.
But these are my kind.
Jimmy Galante.
Jimmy, what a great
Sounds
name.
like a guy you dated.
You know what?
Or your doctor.
This is my favorite thing. So my brother Billy, I mean, we're very close, so I could say whatever I want, but he literally will be like, oh, Galante, I know him.
He knows Jimmy G?
He doesn't know.
He just knows the name.
When we watch the podcast, he's like, I know Jimmy.
Like knows who the guy is?
Yeah.
By the way, I had a fascination. He
goes, I met him at No, you didn't. That's why we call him Fredo. Go ahead.
They open with like Jimmy being a saint, but he helped build the roads, schools. He was donating to a hospital, which a lot of guys who are rumored to be mafia, they did. A lot of people spoke highly of John Gotti in the area.
There's a great clip of a guy, somebody saying about John Gotti, and I can't think of the name. It goes around a lot. It's huge. If you can look it up, there's a guy saying, they ask him, like, what about all the killings? Killings? What killings? It's so good.
No, people who lived around him. Growing up, I went through a big mafia phase where I read a ton of books on the mafia.
Oh, nice.
And that led me into a ton of books on prison, which to this day, I sometimes have nightmares that I'm in prison, even though I don't commit crimes. Not a good, terrible dreams.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't do well in the dreams in prison.
Shit.
So I read Sammy the Bull Gravano, who is John Gotti's right-hand man. I read
I'm
his
not a
book.
fan, but go ahead.
Yeah, he talks a little bit.
R.A.T.
I read some Whitey Bulger stuff, Black Mass.
That's what people call my brother Billy, too. Whitey Bulger. It's not nice.
Why, he looks like him?
When they found him and there was like a picture, they go, oh, shit, that's Billy. They break his balls all the time. But we pick on each other.
Whitey Bulger's brother, Billy Bulger, a big politician in Boston.
Bulger. Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like there's always that one.
Yeah.
Like I have friends that the one brother's, and then the other brother's just amazing.
They would always ask Billy Bulger, "Do you know where your brother is?" And he was like, "Oh no." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, okay." So this guy Jimmy Galante.
Oh, if you can't find out, I feel bad. It was just a weird reaction thing.
By the way, Jimmy Galante, great head of hair.
Amazing.
Then and now.
Amazing.
And one of the most manicured beards you'll ever. Does he have a protractor? The angles are beautiful. Pristine.
Even
him and
in
the
and
son.
out of prison.
The son as well. Beautiful
these
facial
are manicured.
hair.
These are very manscaped, if you will. What is that called? Metrosexual-ish.
Yeah, just he had like a
cleaned up,
like a almost air blown by a
guy's like
he's on a jet ski.
The Eminem of hockey.
Well, that's the son, but Jimmy, the father.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of his hairline.
He's got the
too.
Oh, he had the urban hairline,
right.
if you will. But Jimmy had the beautiful air blown bouffant, but not a hair out of place. Nope. Very beautiful.
Even when he's going into custody.
Some of his outfits too were very nice. In the arena, he had like a nice white, nice tan, almost Native American winter jacket. I was like, it's beautiful.
Let me ask you this, because we talked about this on the other podcast, because you didn't know about one of the loves of my life.
Yeah.
What guy was who I would live with forever?
In this?
Yeah.
The bald guy? T-Bone? We'll get to him.
You got it.
That guy is right out of Central Casting. It was like, we need a guy who either is in the mafia or hangs out with the mafia guys, and it would be that guy.
We need a guy that's fine with anything that's going on.
Oh, he loved it. Not fine. He was beyond loving it.
It's a great employee.
So another great character comes on right after they set up Jimmy Galante. Then I guess there's a hockey league I've never heard of called the UHL. It was a minor league hockey. They said below
it's huge. Yeah.
They said below the NHL is kind of like guys who are trying to make it
Because it's hard
up.
to get in. Yeah.
So the commissioner at the time was this guy named Richard Brozell. He's like a small, fully bald man.
I think he lost his neck maybe playing as a kid.
He looked like he was
didn't come back.
He looked like he was 5'3", very very small guy.
There's an East Coast saying sometimes that people are like, I'll bang your head through your shoes. And I think that happened to him because that's what it looks like.
He was very compact. It was like in the cartoons.
God bless him.
The cartoons when a guy got made mini, they hit him with someone and he gets made mini. So he flies to Connecticut because he's meeting Jimmy. He's looking at checking to see if Jimmy's legit. Because Jimmy, I guess, wants to buy a hockey team is what they're setting up. He said his first impression about Jimmy, he's funny as hell. He's got great stories.
Yeah. Which
a lot of times these guys like this do.
Always.
And Jimmy was buying the hockey team, and he tells this guy, I'm buying this for my 17-year-old son.
Right.
And the guy's like, wait, what the fuck?
What
is that? Took a turn. So then they kind of go backwards from there, getting into the son. This is just the setup, the opening setup. Mm-hmm. 17-year-old is AJ Galante. Mm-hmm. And I wrote, because we were talking about him last episode, he is a real-life Chet Hanks. I mean, Chet Hanks is a real life as well, but
right.
This guy is Chet Hanks of hockey.
Really? Well, yeah. It could be a Chetty.
Yeah, come
Chet.
on. The UHL commissioner is
Chester.
First impressions of him, he looked like a punk.
Oh, that was so funny.
Commissioner doesn't pull any punches.
He was he came in like a punk.
And these guys come off tough, and the commissioner's like, "Fuck you, I don't care." He's right in their
I've already
faces.
had my head banged through my shoes. What are you gonna do?
He's like, you can't make me smaller. The UHL commissioner's like, you guys embarrass hockey, the team. Don't mess with me because you'll be dealt with.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
Oh, yeah,
like,
he wasn't taking any shit.
AJ's like, I like this guy, like he's tough. He's busting my balls. Like he liked it. He was stepping to him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think a guy like this doesn't get
appreciate
that a lot.
it. Yeah. You appreciate people that are honest, of course.
They said there was rumors The Sopranos are based on Jimmy's family. Jimmy and...
Well, we know that's not true, but...
They both had trash hauling businesses. Sons both named AJ.
I love that they kept comparing.
But AJ dressed kind of like this.
AJ?
On the show, on The Sopranos. For a while.
He went
punk
in
rock.
and out of phases.
Yes.
Yes. But this is...
Jimmy said he's like, I made a lot of money. I've been fortunate.
Yeah, I started with 1 truck, then 2 trucks, then 3 trucks. I love that.
It was a game to me. I needed 17, 20. He said AJ, though, is the love of my life. Did he have other kids? Because they did not mention one other kid the whole time.
I think he had a daughter, too.
Didn't mention them at all.
No, they did not. But they maybe sometimes in a documentary
But he said AJ. He said AJ is the love of my life. He didn't say his wife. Didn't say his.
That happens.
I don't know.
Hey, that happens to people. My dad, when my sister Karen was born, he said that he felt. My mom said he fell completely in love with her. Like he just couldn't. He put all of it into her, and it's still true to this day. It's the only kid he knows her name. All 10 of us he calls boy and girl. Except for, 9, because Karen is Karen.
That's nice. They were doing lots of home videos of Jimmy and his son. They were playing. Jimmy said his dad worked a lot, and he's like, I wanted to be there for my kids.
Right.
Mainly AJ.
Right.
AJ would spend summers at the trash business, who wouldn't want to hang out at the...
I would. He was letting them sell stuff.
So he's selling he had to get donuts.
Can you imagine gangsters? Because I've had it as a kid when we would do things. Me and Billy used to shine shoes.
Get your shine box, Kerrigan.
100%. We shine shoes. Maybe they didn't tell you. We don't shine them no more. You didn't go up there and tell you.
Get your shine box. They were getting donuts for the old man, and they had a stand.
Yeah.
And they have footage of Jimmy saying to the son, how much did you extort from this guy?
That's exactly what it is.
It's a great lesson.
You walk by and you're like, oh, this.
Well, and by the way, you're like, you know who my dad is? You're below him. You may want to give me some money here.
This is my dad's truck. Want a donut? Oh, yeah. How much?
Sure.
$100? Yeah, sure.
$500 here.
You're Jimmy's kid. Here's my whole wallet.
How many times was the word loyalty used in this?
That could be a drinking game for this.
Oh, you would be dead.
But also, I loved when AJ was in school.
Yeah,
and this is how he knew he had a different upbringing.
They said, like, what have you been learning about? Kids are like, don't talk to strangers, do this, that, and his
danger.
Don't rat on anybody, and you'll always be a stand-up guy. And they're like, excuse me.
Solid advice.
And they're like, parent teacher, don't say anything negative about AJ.
Solid advice.
Stay on Jimmy's good side. Mark AJ's papers a little higher. Give him a 10-point cushion, maybe more.
We're loyal. I'm
loyal.
We're not ratting, but he didn't get any of these right.
I didn't see anything.
A+.
AJ said as an adult, he's like, I saw loyalty and respect is everything, is what his dad would teach him.
He's not wrong.
AJ was big into pro wrestling, so
that was great.
What's Jimmy do? He goes out, he gets The Rock, Triple H in China to come to the birthday party. The Rock's just like hanging out. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Hey, man.
It was like a pool party.
That's right. And they probably paid.
Those are big names.
He probably paid top dollar.
Oh, just cash.
Top dollar.
Suitcase.
Yeah, sure. So I'll bring a suitcase, like a duffel bag.
How you doing?
With tons of money.
How you doing, China?
Hey, China, you want to come?
I got a friend named Fuji. How you doing, Triple H? Hey, The Rock.
Oh my God!
Triple H was giving the kid a shoulder rub.
Like if that happened to my little brother Bobby, he would just faint. Like we didn't have that kind of money, but
who did?
It'd be so exciting. He would just die if he met them.
So AJ had 2 loves in life as a kid: wrestling and the movie The Mighty Ducks.
I know.
Emilio
I have a Mighty
Estevez.
Ducks hat too, and I couldn't find it, but I would never wear it over a flyer.
So this guy sees the Mighty Ducks, and he's like, "I gotta play hockey."
That's how he fell in love.
Like, I tried to get him into football, didn't work. He threw a pass that they showed a home video, and he dropped it. You could see the disappointment. You saw him making a fist.
I hugged him too hard. I loved him too much.
AJ, he looked like I wrote a real dweeb as a kid.
100% nerdy kid.
Big glasses.
Yeah.
Like kind of a lame haircut. You see him, then he grows up into Chet Hanks with the.
Chet jumped in. I think Chet in the outfits.
Someone bought him like a Tupac CD or something, and he really went far.
I was gonna put the earrings on with the big studs, but I'm not.
We said he went to high school, and people were like, "Your dad's a piece of shit," because his dad was in prison for like a year,
right?
When he went into high school.
Sure.
And so he said, I think he almost had to like reinvent himself to like, hey,
yeah,
I'm
because
tough.
You're living in the shadow. Your dad's overbearing, but he also like loves you and
gives you
everything.
Guy gave you the rock.
But the kid still had respect, and that was interesting. That was amazing. That's hard to do. He's not like a spoiled brat.
In his own way, he did, yes.
Yeah, but he wasn't like a spoiled little brat, like, you know who I am, you know, came to my, you know what I mean?
I mean, we couldn't see that in this, but yeah, I didn't see him it.
Right, maybe.
They start setting up like the colonel of the FBI's poking around. They're
FBI, ruining everything.
They're like, we know.
Forever bothering Italians. That's what it stands for.
Like,
my friend Anthony told me that.
They said they knew that. I always love the mafia nicknames. They're like, we knew that Jimmy got his start in the trash business from Matty the Horse Ianello.
By the way.
Is he hung like a horse? He was an old man.
No. That was so accurate.
Why, he looked like a horse, you think?
Everything was just together. His head was gigantic. His nose was wide and big. Like, I never saw that.
He was an older guy.
Who was the guy who played Herman Munster?
I don't know.
Like that. That's who he reminded me of. He was in My Cousin Vinny. He was the...
the judge.
Yes.
That guy was a politician, I think.
That guy, like that, like... That's not
Fred
him.
Gwynn.
Is that him? Yeah, he looked big like that to me.
The horse.
The horse.
Matty the horse.
Put Matty the horse up.
Matty the horse.
He was big like that. It was frightening.
There he is.
I love him. Everything was gigantic.
He looks like a horse?
I don't know. It was one shot in there that really, that one, the side shot.
Look at the picture of him with the horse. What is that? It looks like a stand-up flyer. Was he making a personal appearance?
I don't know why, but maybe he was like built like a horse. I don't know what it was. I hope it was horse cock for him.
They said he would race horses as a young man. He was a sprinter. Or he was racing them there. He looks like a nerdy accountant, the way he dresses.
But every name in here, I have friends.
Look at him there with the cane and the long blazer down to the right.
Oh, nice. Yeah. There he is. Going to court.
Being held up by the friend, the old Bill Cosby. I'm weak. I can't go to court.
The wife
holding the bag.
Never put in the bag. Like, don't you dare photograph him.
I don't want to be seen next to the horse.
Have you seen this man's cock?
It's horse-like. Bojack. That's what he would be called nowadays.
Aw.
So they mentioned the FBI was looking into Jimmy on tax fraud
problems.
Shit. That's why he goes away. He tells his son before his 8th grade year, he's like, I can go to trial. If I lose, I go away for 7 to 8 years.
Right.
Or I can take a deal and be gone for a year. And his son's like, take the year as long as you're not ratting on nobody. That's his
it is weird.
His 8th grade son is
to take the deal. I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you're admitting.
You're admitting it.
It's
like taking it. You got to take the fall. So many guys have to take the fall.
So Jimmy goes. By the way, Jimmy, I love how he talks because he has that very calm way of talking where you know that he can go crazy.
Sure.
That is the sign of
the calmer's worse.
Yeah, it's
better when the other part's out
because it's like a creepy calm.
Sure.
Because he's like, yeah, so I took the deal. In all of his interviews, he was in an abandoned warehouse at a desk, just sitting by himself.
But he still has the garbage truck, or he's still that's what it was.
Just sitting there.
Feel like I was like, he still owns all these warehouses.
How depressed did AJ look accepting his diploma? I think it must have been for his 8th grade year. He got it and
he's like
sulked off.
I had to be the man of the house, and it sucks. He's 8th grade, that's hard. The mom was cute. But they didn't show much of the mom either.
No, and they showed her once.
Yeah, and they did show the sister when they were young, but I think she probably just didn't want to be in the.
What is being the man of the house? They had money. It's not like you had to go get a job.
House.
Did he have to call The Rock and be like, hey, do you mind coming to my birthday party? He's like, there was no one to
That's
call.
That's not what a man of the house does. Gotta look after his mother.
Whatever.
After his wife.
She's a grown woman. She can look after herself.
No.
I'm sick of these old school Bullshit, misogynistic ways.
Misogyny. You just don't want to be the man of the house. That's the problem.
AJ said he did have to reinvent himself, and he said, I was the scumbag that turned on the good guy. They were showing some
a heel, if you will.
Great homemade backyard wrestling clips of him and his buddies.
By the way, amazing. But we used to put down a flat sheet. We moved the coffee table. To this day, we still say that at my mom's house. Move the coffee table. That means we want to fight. And so we have like a couch and a love seat kind of thing. Now we don't, but when we were kids, we did. So we would jump off those, and that would be like our ring, just the sheet.
Yeah.
There was nothing under that protecting anybody.
Oh, no.
And we would come off the ropes, which were the couches, and it was brutal, man.
Oh, yeah.
We nearly got killed. I can tell this story. We would come up with weird games, and we'll talk about Johnny Fax because he broke his arm during this fun game. But what we would do was sit on your feet, and this was so much fun. By the way, don't try this at home because I don't want to get sued.
I'll go home and have my kids do it.
Oh my God. We did so many weird shit. This is why we're still close to this day. But if it was raining out, you have nothing to do. So you sit, somebody lays on the floor. You sit on their feet, hold them, their hands on you, and you just shoot them.
Yeah, like Superman.
Johnny went through the window.
Through the glass? Or it was open?
No, I think he went through the glass. I'm gonna get yelled at.
Who was lifting him? Somebody who was doing leg presses.
Jimmy.
Jesus. Oh, you said your brother has like crazy legs. Joe Rogan once commented on his legs.
His calves are gigantic.
Why would you let him shoot
Jimmy
you?
Bam Bam threw him.
You could have thrown him through the wall.
So, but they were
Jesus.
they were supposed to be babysitting.
They called him Jimmy the Mule for his mule kick.
They were supposed to be babysitting, I believe. So the babysitters were doing this. And then they had to call my grandma
come home
to come over.
Your brother's
my
arms
mom wasn't home.
at a completely wrong angle.
So it was like, uh-oh.
They're like, ew, we went through the window. Oh, boy. Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah, good
never,
times.
Never went through the window, but my brother once hit me with the Jake the Snake's finishing move, the DDT.
Ooh, DDT is one of my faves.
On the carpet.
We do a double DDT.
But little do you know, the carpet's just above a wood floor.
100%. There's no springs on that.
You got a bad bloody nose, and also my head hit I don't think their heads were hitting the floor. My head just went right into the floor.
There's a way to fall, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Nowadays in wrestling, they say, do not try this at home, or at least they did for a while.
Well, I just said it, so disclaimer. But yeah, that was my move was Harley's Angel. Me and Charlie would do the Easy Rider, and Charlie Davidson would do the double DDT. That was our thing.
Yeah, and then you became a pro wrestler for a while.
Pro wrestling.
Not Jimmy. AJ said he loved being booed was his thing.
See, that's such the wrestling thing. So he liked being the heel.
He loved the
fun.
the performative
nature. Of course.
Jimmy loved going to his son's hockey games. He's like, I was amazed. He was that tough. I was in awe.
See,
I
now
was
he's
very,
proud.
very proud of him.
Wait. I did write that. I remember that. Oh, yeah. So proud. My son's tough.
Because I think also, too, a guy like this who is, I think, probably been in some shit, the father.
Yeah.
So I think he's like, I'm rich. Is this going to make my son a complete pussy?
I'm rich, bitch.
So I think he saw the son in hockey, and he was like, oh, shit, he's got a little fight in him. I like it.
Okay.
He's the man of the house.
He's coming out. Putting him as the man in the house early on helped out.
Going to prison was the right move.
He's not wearing glasses anymore.
He's not a dweeb.
He's not skinny. Well, he was a little skinny, but he wasn't he looked really little.
Now he's got a line in his hair. Not sure where that came from. This guy's in Connecticut, by the way.
Nice part.
Someone tells me they showed it their house. Was
the fade was
a
good.
mansion.
Yeah,
this guy's dressing. He's got big oversized jean shorts. Jimmy, I guess AJ loved the hitting aspect of hockey.
Of course, who doesn't? That's the beauty of hockey. I remember my nephew Sean was playing, and my sister Karen was like, his mother was like, he shouldn't be fighting, and I go, it's hockey.
But they're kids.
I don't give a shit. It's hockey.
Okay, all right. AJ put a hit on
what you're getting into.
AJ's in high school. He puts a hit on a kid. He's like, I drilled this fucking guy.
It was a clean hit.
He's like,
I don't think it was that clean, buddy.
He's like, I just felt it. Fucking pure hit. He said, I had no pain. I went to get up. I couldn't get up. This guy said, this was this quote. So I put some of his quotes because I love hearing this guy talk.
Oh, yeah.
This guy says about this injury, To this day, I don't know
what it is.
I don't know the diagnosis of the injury.
How do you not know?
He's like, I
had a surgery.
He goes, I just know it was fucked up. That's this guy's quote on an injury to his own body. That's crazy. That's a crazy way to go through life.
You would have to have some. He had a surgery. He said he went into surgery immediately. Yes. Some diagnosis, something.
To this day, I don't know it. I don't know it. He said it ended his career, which I love because, by the way, was he going to the NHL?
This is 100% a gangster's kid.
He goes, it ended my career. Was he playing in college? I doubt it. He's like, it ended my career. I don't know what happened. Something happened.
When I was wrestling, I would stand up and just fall down. Right? I didn't know what was happening, so they sent me immediately to get an MRI because we were wrestling, we were hitting each other, killing each other, whatever. So immediately, I'd stand up, fall down. I was at the Comedy Store. I was still waiting tables. I go, I don't know what's happening. Something's weird. And there's this gangster that used to hang around. And he said we talked about him on here before, Downtown Ronnie. And he used to hang at the Comedy Store. And so we were outside and he goes, I said, yeah, I have to get all these tests done because I don't know what it is. And he goes, you know what it is? It's going to go away the same way it came. You're not going to see it coming, and you're not going to see it going.
Wow. Profound words.
Whoa, okay. That makes perfect sense.
Dr. Downtown.
And guess what? That's what happened. It went away. We never knew what it was. It could be wood or it could have been an inner ear thing.
I think it was
they couldn't find anything.
Concussion.
No, they couldn't find anything. You would know. You could see that in the eye. You could see something.
So why don't you just go to this guy right away?
Dr. Ronnie.
Here's what's going on. You're not gonna
it was so funny.
You're not going to see it coming. You're not going to see it going. You're not going to see which way it's going.
I literally just remember looking at him like, okay, thank you. And I was like, you guys need drinks?
When you saw him the next time, did you say, hey, I didn't see it going. And it went.
I didn't see him for a while.
He went away.
I didn't see him going either.
No comments. His name was formerly Ronnie Downtown.
Right.
Until
Dice switched it.
You got to switch it up if you want success in the business. So Jimmy Galante's upset. His son's love is taken away from him with an injury he doesn't understand.
Right.
Or know about. So he says, what do I do? I'm going to pull a move from the movie The Toy.
Right.
U.S. Bates when he bought Richard Pryor for the little boy.
Master Bates. Yes.
U.S. It's U.S.
U.S.
So he's like, I'm going to buy him a minor league hockey team and let him run it at 17.
By the way, I think when you buy something for somebody, it's good not to tell them.
Yes. That is best. This guy found out at school because people are like,
Why is everybody looking at it?
It's all over the papers.
Like that?
I think they just recreated that. I don't think that was real.
Okay. I mean, it looked so grainy, but then there was the teacher yelling at him.
It wasn't real, I don't think. Unless this kid walked around with a camcorder at school, which wouldn't be, they'd be like, let him do what he wants.
Right. Leave him alone. This is a school project.
Jimmy knows Maddie the horse. Leave them alone. So AJ is made, and as we've talked about him, seems like a bright guy. He's made the president and GM of this team, 17 years old, still in high school. He says, and I find out about this, I'm shitting my pants. And he's got a lot of room in those pants. They would go right down to the floor. It's not hitting anything. It's not hitting any fabric. Not hitting nothing. At all. They showed an ESPN report about the team being created. The Danbury Trashers in honor of Jimmy's business. What a great name. So in the logo. I mean, hey, man. Yeah, go with what you know. Yeah. The logo is a fucking trash barrel with eyes. Like this. It's so good. They showed an ESPN report of Darren Ravel. He's still big in sports. Yeah, absolutely. I saw it's Darren Ravel. Oh my God. I was like, that's great. And like he said, this is a big deal. I watch ESPN all the time. I was like, yeah, we all do, fucker. This idiot said his quotes about he's like, oh, so good. I feel like the LeBron James of hockey all of a sudden. That was it. I nearly passed away when he said that. I rewound it like 10 times. But LeBron had talent. This guy's dead bottom of team. It's completely different. LeBron was the player. This guy's a fucking idiot 17-year-old general manager.
Yeah, he's not playing because he has an injury. He doesn't know what it's called. He doesn't know anything about it.
Jesus.
He just knows he can't play.
And he loves the Mighty Ducks and wrestling. Those
Right.
are the basis of his knowledge. He's like, we need to get Goldberg the goalie.
Right.
Emilio Estevez coaching.
I don't see why not.
And his dad's
I'm going to be the Emilio Estevez.
And I bet his dad's like, make it happen to somebody. And they're like,
But
shit, we got to make this kid's dream. You know, he had a guy who he called and he's like,
yeah.
You get The Rock
His
at
name
my
was
fucking
Tommy.
kid's birthday party, and you bring him in. And they're like, shit, we better get The Rock.
Oh, shit.
Now.
Well, yeah.
So he has a press conference to announce the team. And it's this kid's 17. Real awkward, like mumbling speech. I felt bad for him.
Oh, yeah.
At
When
that
he
point.
went up, because that's
He's
like an open mic.
Yeah,
know,
he's just like, how you doing? You know, like, we got the team now. But then when he really lit up, they had an ace in their sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, our first pick.
This is so good.
We're going to pick Gretzky.
We're going with Gretzky.
And like people like there's like a buzz. I'm
Wow,
like, what?
Gretzky.
Brent. Is it Brett or Brent?
I think it was Brent.
Brent Gretzky, and it's his brother. I don't even know if his
could be
brother.
wrong.
Does his brother play hockey? I don't even know.
If they were like, look, you want to get back at your brother? We got an idea.
And AJ was like, and everyone loved
He's not the great
it.
one. He's the other one.
Yeah. The great one, the comic from the Comedy Store.
Oh, yeah. The great one was a real great one. Is
I
it
never saw him
Brent
perform.
Or Brett?
Who knows?
I got to look. I got to think about
He's the
that.
Frank Stallone of hockey.
It is Brent.
It is Brent.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember going, is it Brett or Brent?
I don't think he was really on the team, though, was he? Because that was the only mention of him at all. They never came back to him.
Well, they recruited him. Yeah, I think he did play.
Oh, he did
but
play?
Maybe
Okay.
he
didn't play like a big role?
Maybe they just didn't show him because he wasn't one of what we get into in a minute.
Hey,
Bruisers.
Can your brother come by? Can Wayne hang out?
Can you imagine like
The
this
dad's
guy
like, yeah.
shows up to recruit you and he looks like you right now, like Jamie Kennedy and Malibu's Most Wanted? It's uncomfortable.
My son would like your brother Wayne to come here, and he'd be really disappointed if he didn't. And he's like, you gotta fly into Danbury, Connecticut, dude. I'm gonna get killed.
Danbury, where's that? So good.
So this idiot, this bright dude, AJ says, you know, I got pro wrestling, I got the Mighty Ducks. And I'm like, we could combine the two of these.
And make Slapshot.
This fucking idiot.
Slapshot.
This is his business model.
Have you ever seen Slapshot the movie?
I saw it as a kid. I didn't love it.
I gotta leave. I can't even talk to you. Are you fucking serious right now?
It's kind of boring, wasn't it?
Your sister's ass is boring.
How
I'm
dare
sorry.
you? Well, maybe it is.
I mean, we're doing gangster
Have you
stuff.
seen
That's
my
how we
sister's
always
ass?
curse. I haven't.
I don't know if I have either. Just definitely not as an adult.
Everything's your sister's ears. But Slapshot the movie is so good. Unbelievable. That's what I used to call Earl Skakel, the Hanson brothers.
I remember them. That was the best part of it.
Unbelievable. Dave's a killer. I mean, literally, I think I'm going to show my dick. I'm going to show my dick. I'm going to show it. So good.
I think old CM Punk loves Slapshot.
Who?
CM Punk, the wrestler.
I'm sure of it.
Jimmy had him come to one of
AJ's
40th birthday. CM Punk was there.
CM Punk.
You think they're still doing the wrestling stuff at the birthdays for him as an adult?
I can't believe you don't. But by the way, you just lost a fan.
Who's that?
Johnny Fax. Slapshot's one of our favorite movies.
Hey, Johnny. Just like when you're finding a partner, like a woman or a man,
okay.
whoever
This is our courting.
You don't have to date your exact self. You can have things not in common.
Well, we're going to make you watch it, and then
maybe I need to rewatch it.
It's got to be a rewatch. It's so good. The characters are brilliant. Wait a minute. What happened here?
You've seen this is Slapshot 2 starring Stephen Baldwin and Gary Busey.
No one watched that one. That maybe be the one you watched as a kid.
That's the Caddyshack 2 of rough.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, you can't.
Did you like the FBI's clever name for the operation on Jimmy Galante? They were the guy
Pale Riders.
Operation Pale Rider, and he's like, that's spelled P-A-I-L.
Yeah, it's based off the Clint Eastwood movie
called Pale Rider, P-A-L-E. They were real proud of themselves on that one.
So happy.
They hired some writers.
The FBI, they're so good, aren't they?
Man, clever guys.
So smart.
Jimmy and the some of his cohorts kidnapped a garbage truck driver and set his truck on fire.
Right.
Just what can you do?
Things happen. Those things catch fire quickly.
The guy maybe they were saying, you're flammable. We need to help you. We're going to put it out.
It says it on the side of the truck, flammable. Look it up.
He's like, your driver's flammable. Now get off our fucking area. AJ said, I walked into my new job. I got real anxious because I didn't really know what I was doing. Oh, really?
You're kidding.
You?
No
17-year-old dressed like a fucking
mogul?
Dressed like Chet
Hockey mogul? Are you kidding?
Dressed like Chet Hanks.
Yes, Chet Hanks is coming in. The Eminem of hockey is here, guys.
There he is.
Oh, my God.
He's like, I needed someone to help me out. So I go to a real Danbury legend, none other than my middle school hockey coach.
The best was
This is the guy who you love. The footage of this guy. This guy's taping practices of him playing against 6th and 7th grade kids, drilling them into the fucking boards.
Checking kids into the boards, always funny. Did I hit kids? Yeah, I hit them.
But he said cocaine's a hell of a drug. Stole Chappelle's lines. This guy's doing Chappelle bits in his interviews. By the way, in the interviews, this guy's fully bald.
He was glorious.
He looks like Telly Savalas.
Tommy, if you're single, I'm still here, buddy.
He's wearing shades, smoking a huge cigar.
You can check me anytime.
You would be around this shitty cigar smoke?
I'll take it for that.
The production was like, oh, this room stinks.
The production was like, this guy's amazing. I don't care if I get a sinus infection from this smell.
This guy would say something and start dying laughing so hard that they were using his head every now and then as just a snippet because he'd be like, like a crazy maniacal laugh, like a fucking maniac. This guy, Jim.
I
AJ's
fell in
like,
love immediately.
AJ's like, this guy's crazy. He was hitting kids into the boards. I'm like, this is who we need. What a great coach of children. He's probably hospitalizing kids.
He probably caused the injury that happened to AJ.
Jesus.
So good.
His name was Tommy T-Bone Pomposello.
That's right. And he would T-bone you if you came at him.
T-bone you right into the boards. I'll put you into the boards.
Tommy, I'll take a T-bone.
Jesus. Get his number. What if you did? If you started really dating this guy, that'd be truly
so exciting.
Truly unbelievable.
This is the Tommy I want.
Like he would be out in the
room.
Not
that other Tommy. I want this one.
He'd be waiting for you in the room right outside of here. How'd the show go? This guy get fresh with you? You doing anything crazy? Yeah. Want me to put you into the boards? He'd nail me into the wall.
He'd just check you anyway.
He has a hockey stick. Just say,
hey, well, just saying hi.
Hey,
what
watch
went
yourself.
On in there?
Punch me in the stomach. How you doing?
He turned your mic off, that's for sure.
So, yeah, that's first step one. He's like, I'll do the show. I'm funny. T-Bone is like, I got a guy just for you, AJ, for a great pick. He shows him a guy in a prison or jail jumpsuit.
Oh, wait, that's after Brad. They got Brad first, and then that he was the prison guy, Brad? Oh, that's right.
Brett.
Because Brett, I'm sorry, he, Wingnut?
Yeah.
He's the one that hurt the guy, so he had to go to jail.
Well, they didn't say what he did. He goes, he just beat the shit out of 6 correction officers. He's perfect.
Oh.
And AJ's like, oh, that's awesome, man. Bring him in. He doesn't say he's good at hockey.
No.
Nothing. Just that.
Oh, see, I thought he got in because of hockey. Something. Maybe I added that.
But I didn't get, did he do that in jail or did he do that outside and then went to jail? I didn't really understand.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Like he got in trouble for doing something on the ice.
Unclear.
Because he wasn't playing in any real hockey leagues.
Yeah.
But he was good at hockey.
You could tell that guy was built.
He was great.
He was a big boned motherfucker.
Yeah.
His hands were like
gigantic.
His hands were like mitts. I've met some MMA fighters at the Comedy Store, and I'm a fan of MMA. I shook this guy.
My dad, my brother Jimmy.
This guy Matt.
My poor niece Nicole has those hands.
This guy Matt Mitrione, heavyweight fighter. I shook his hand, and I'm 6'3". This guy's hand like enveloped my hand. I felt like a baby. Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Imagine being hit with that in the face.
Very nervous about that.
Yeah, very. I'm T-Bone's outside waiting for me.
Tommy, we'll be out in a minute.
I'd like to talk about some of these jokes you're saying to Eleanor.
I love how every guy is dice.
That's what you love.
Hey, how dare you?
You got to type. So this guy's Brett Wingnut Wingfield. They go over his medical procedures. This guy had 17 surgeries and counting. He's like, look at this. I lost part of my pinky.
Oh, when he did it. My cousins on my dad's side.
They put up both of his pinkies, and one was like cut off at the top.
That's my cousins on my dad's side always played hockey like this. Like they started their own league. It was a whole thing, and it was brutal. We used to go to those games as kids, and I was literally in love with my cousin Terry's best friend Bruce.
I thought you were saying
big.
I thought you were saying
nah,
your cousin.
I mean, I love Terry too. God, I still love, but like not like I was a little girl and I was like, I want to marry Bruce because he was a bruiser like this. He was big and he would beat that shit out. They would fight on that ice. This is my favorite thing with the kids cheering when they're fighting because that was me with my cousins.
You were what? They didn't. I don't. This guy, was he playing like professionally or semi-professionally?
I don't know.
Or is he just like a guy that like this guy is a fucking brawler?
This guy's wild.
Yeah. So they bring this guy in.
But how would he know about that? So he had to be in hockey or something.
It's something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sure that happens every day.
Unless T-Bone just like knows this guy from some, like he's like, I know his uncle, whatever. Who knows? So when AJ starts talking about his style of general manager, unreal. He's like, so I got Tommy. I got video games I'm playing on hockey, and I got Google.
But I was thinking about that because Google, like we're saying, Tommy must have known this guy from something. Yeah. Because Google wasn't what it is today.
No.
So you saw even when he was logging in, it's like, oh.
So then AJ says, and they start showing the beautiful mind ship behind him to mock him, which was great. He goes, I'm like, I'm finding like patterns. Yeah. That's what he said.
That was so good.
And they're showing, like these mathematic equations of this fucking guy. And I'm like, he has no idea they're making fun of him at all in post. They'll be like, that's great. It's
100%. I'm making fun, but these are my people. This is what I grew up with. This is what I love. So
then you see some of his moves. As you go on, you're like, some of the moves were fairly smart moves of bringing who he brought in.
Like he One Eye Willie was
so he brings
amazing.
in this guy David Beauregard. He was trying to make the NHL. He was on a team. A guy high sticked, and he went under the visor of the helmet, hit him right in the eye. Oof. Lost his eye, and he's like, "That my NHL dreams are over." But this guy was like, "Hey, this guy's good."
That guy was legit.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck it, I don't care if he has one eye. He can play in minor league."
And then when they showed him like right after the injury, like, his
eye was all red,
fucked up. I was like, oh, that. So then he gets,
I don't know where he found this guy, the Nigerian Nightmare.
I love him
too. Roman Ender.
This
guy's parents were like, "Hey, we don't want you to play ice hockey.
Figure skating.
You can do figure skating." He goes, "Fine, but I'll wear
Give me a stick.
Ice hockey skates." And he said the footing he learned in that made him a good fighter in his later days. That guy was a big motherfucker too.
But also, like figure skating, a lot of ice hockey players do that because it is a degree of like, skating around, flipping around, whatever you want to call it. But
that's why they do.
Gives you good balance when you're fighting.
So then they have the two brothers are great. Their interviews were phenomenal.
The Sklar brothers on ice.
Their interviews.
I
love
it.
Hilarious. Mike and
Hey man,
Drew,
stop cutting me off.
One guy kept interrupting, and he goes, "You see, you fucking did it again. You fucking did it again."
I can't say anything. Fuck this. Oh, it's the best. Such a brother thing.
They're Mike and Drew Omacoli, and right off the bat, they're interviewing with the guy. One of the guy's phone's going off, and the other brother he's like, "Jesus Christ, turn your phone off! What the fuck?"
He picked them like he's a handsome brother.
He said that. He goes, they're always together. Yeah. They're always playing together.
They weren't as scary looking, but they were.
So they bring them in. So Jimmy is meeting with these guys, and he's like, "What? Tell me what T-Bone offered you." And they tell him, and then he's like, "You know what? I'm going 10 G's over that. How's that? How do you like that?" And then they said he would just take 10 grand cash and just put it on the table. And they're like, "What?" That guy Wingnut's like, "Are you serious?" That guy was a real like lovable dope. Wingfield.
He's the best.
He's like, "What?"
He's like, "Oh, this is cool."
He's like, "Yeah, fuck." He goes, "I said to my wife, guess we're moving to Danbury, Connecticut."
He was Canadian, right? He had an accent. He had
I think a little bit. Or he just was that dumb. Who knows?
Or maybe he was from Michigan, but they have
Or
that little a boat. He was doing that.
His head's been beaten so hard he's talking Canadian.
He thinks he's Canadian.
So these guys are all getting crazy money to come play for this minor league team.
Sure.
They also said that
just
guy...
Just a minnow in a Shark Tank. Why did I write that down? Because he did say that, my boyfriend Tommy, and I can't remember what it was about.
I think I have it later.
Yeah.
Wingfield says, we're getting checks from various businesses.
Yeah, I don't know who I work for week to week. I will tell you that.
That's so shady. By the way, here's a check from the trash company. You're like, wait, what? For
laundering money is a hell of a drug. And so I worked for, I was
clean it.
16, between the ages of 16 and maybe 19. I had 2 jobs. One I never went to. It was a no-show job.
Hooker.
And it was he would come, and I never got a check weekly. They did. But I got the taxes from it. Okay. So when they filed taxes, I got the tax money back. So
that's a yearly paycheck.
Every year, this guy would come and give me sometimes upwards of like $3,500.
Wow.
But is this
job still available? I'm looking for jobs.
Unfortunately, he passed away.
All right.
He was my sister Karen's friend. She goes, just do what he asks. I go, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I did.
Cash? Sure.
I did it for a few years. And people were like, how do you have 2 jobs like full time? I work a lot.
So the commish is like, someone's got to police these guys.
Yeah.
He's like, these guys are wild cards. They're not your typical hockey owners.
Yeah.
He calls an emergency meeting, and he tells them, you better watch yourself. And AJ says, who the fuck is this guy? And then T-Bone said, he has no idea what's coming.
Nobody fucks with you.
Probably with the laugh.
How dare you? How dare you? That's not how he laughs.
He
just goes, it's like a Telly Savalas kind of. That's
with
an
his
old reference.
teeth.
I apologize. His teeth are so big.
AJ,
in love with you, Tom.
I wrote here because AJ at times does look a lot like Eminem, clearly inspired. But you watched the show Euphoria, as did I.
My favorite.
Who did AJ remind you on the show?
Oh,
Fezco,
but not
as dopey and mumbly, but there's a lot in common there.
Yeah,
that would be a good casting. They're doing a movie based on this.
Him.
That'd be a good AJ.
Yeah. He's a terrific actor.
I don't know what he can do besides what he's doing on that show. Like, he's not going to be like, hey, here's your Ivy League student.
Right. So this is a step up.
A casting person walked by him, I think, on the street
This is a little bit of a step up, though.
Yes.
That guy was
a
terrific character in that show.
He's just like, yeah, how you doing? You know, like, hey, Rue, like, you want some pills? Or like, you know,
I told you, man. Look what you did. Hey. Everything's messed up. Meanwhile, people are shooting around us.
This guy's energy level is like beyond dead.
Rue, I told you, you're gonna fuck this up for us.
Rue, you can't be talking to people like that, Rue.
Can you bring him up? I can't think of his name, his real name.
A casting person walked by this guy on the streets of Oakland. Like, you want to be on a show?
Look at it. Perfect casting. Look at that. Look, the orange right there.
By the way, Angus Cloud is not a name you would expect for this guy at all.
He really is a good actor. That's the whole thing. Look, he's even got the part, the fade.
Oh, he already has the line. They're like, you don't even need to do the line. Look at that. Look at that look. That's him. That's AJ.
Here's your casting guy. Here's who you cast, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that tip.
I wonder if, because that's really him, right? Or something like that. They said this was
No, this isn't. He's not doing a character, I don't think.
You're right.
He's in commercials now. Have you seen any of them? They're great. He's like, you got to drink this like energy drink. You know,
this is your energy. I don't got energy, but like other people, like this is me full speed.
What's he saying?
I did not see that. I don't watch commercials.
It's great.
That's amazing. I got to check that out. His cloud commercials. He's bringing it up. Oh no!
There it is.
Up.
Is it Rockstar?
Rockstar?
I was right. I guessed that. I was right there.
I gotta hear this. No.
Whoa! Apocalyptic scene.
A lot it went in. Starring Angus Cloud.
And cut. I guess that's a wrap.
I'm dead.
What's next?
Oh, that's not a part. That's a scar.
They're not having him talk.
What you mean what's next? Oh, I love it. Let's get it, man. Oh, man, we got it. He's got to play this part. This is AJ Galante.
I'm sorry, did you call him a good actor?
I'm sorry. He's great. Maybe it's the directing and...
Whoa. So what's next? You tell me, man.
Check this out.
You tell me, man.
I love him.
Rockstar energy drink. Hustle on.
No energy. Hustle on, man.
Unbelievable.
Someone tells me that You Tell Me was unscripted. He's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. They're like, just leave it in. You tell. Oh, sorry, I just unplugged something.
By the way,
You
that
tell
would be
me,
amazing. Like just the fact that he's in no energy whatsoever. Like whoever
Zero.
casted that commercial, you're fired. Like,
Isn't it ironic? It's like Angus Cloud drinking Rockstar
Well,
drinks.
maybe it was who he was being directed by because he really was so good in.
But
in,
he's made for that role. It's like the perfect role.
Sure, but I'm saying you still listen. I tons of friends that are a zillion times funnier than me. They can't do stand up.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a thing. You have to have
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
And he's got something.
He's a presence. He's
a presence.
What's next?
Well, now that he's going to play AJ Galante, I'm so excited.
Hustle on.
watch
Can you imagine the
this
two of them,
movie.
him shadowing AJ? They would be arrested, the two of those guys together. They become
But I
best
think
friends.
this is the beauty of
Be like stepbrothers.
yes.
You want to build bunk beds or something? Like, can I touch your drum set? You know? Be like looking in the mirror, the two of them staring at each other. Like I can see them doing improv exercises where you move your hand together. It's like, whoa.
I think AJ has a little more energy, but
Oh, AJ's an energetic guy.
AJ's great. But my thing is with AJ, like he's always jumping around, screaming,
Oh,
yelling
yeah.
at stuff. Like
Yes.
he's all in.
He's very much like the
So whatever the surgery was, it worked. He just can't play hockey anymore.
yeah,
Ever?
I guess.
Because what's his name missing a finger? He's had like 90 surgeries. He had, I think he said like some upwards of 700 stitches in his face.
Wingfield's not going to age well at all.
I think he looks great because
No,
all
he
the
looks great
stitches may
now.
have lifted some shit.
That's
you
true.
know?
He nip-tucked it via sports.
He did.
First game, they got Brett Wingfield on the bench. They're getting ready to play hockey. Jimmy holds up the phone from the owner, the small arena, so you could see him from like
you know
the owner's.
how funny that is, though.
Holds up the phone.
And he's like, I'm in my
Yeah, and
uniform.
he's like, what?
I got pads
I think
on.
T-Bone hands. T-Bone, by the way, was the equipment manager for this.
Always
fucking team.
funny. But see, this is a gangster thing, right?
Just give him a job.
Give him a title.
Yes.
Give him a fucking title.
Get him in there.
Right? Yeah,
He's
yeah.
helping us out. So they give Wingfield the phone. He's like, hello?
Yeah.
What's going on? He's like, the minute the puck drops, you drop your gloves and you fight. And so the Wingfield guy's like, he's like, feeling,
yeah.
I can't wait.
As soon as I feel that ice, that cold
So
on
they
me,
show the clip. Literally, the
within 3 seconds, there's blood all over
just
the
a
ice.
fucking
all over
this
the
guy
ice.
with you threw those ham hock
The best
punches.
was the guy who came out to mop. I mean, it looked like if your kids just destroyed your kitchen, you know, and the guy was just like trying to.
They show the fight. It's like silent, like oh shit. Then the crowd
But the guy
goes.
said
crowd
something
went.
to him. He said,
"Fuck you" or something. Like,
but
go
do you
fuck
think
yourself.
he heard that?
Yeah, I think he invented
Ah.
that. That was the concussions talk.
That's Waterboy going, what you say about my mama?
Yeah.
You know, that he heard it in there and he snapped.
So the crowd goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And Jimmy says, "Now, if you say that wasn't special or emotional, you have no feelings." This is what the guy like touches this guy in his life. Is this huge fucking guy beating the fuck out of some guy? I was like, oh my
And there's
god.
blood everywhere. And the kids are like, but that was me at my cousin's game.
Oh,
Going,
if I were like between high school and college age, I would have been all over going to these games.
Oh, 100%.
I would have loved it.
Even if I was younger, actually.
I would have loved it.
Yeah, because I mean,
but I'm saying like you could, if you were the age of like where you could get drunk and
sure.
go to the
fuck yeah.
and just lose your mind and go crazy chants.
It's ice capades with
throw shit,
meets boxing.
Throw shit on the ice.
Incredible.
I would have been all over this.
Hockey boxing.
The commissioners at the first game, they showed his face. They did a still. He was
already annoyed,
so
already pissed off.
He's like Mr. Which one? Who's the short one from the Jetsons? Spacely. Yes. He's Mr. Spacey. He's like that tiny little guy and he looks angry all the time.
I hated cartoons when I was a kid. Is that weird?
Well, now I'm upset with you.
Fine.
So they show him. He just looks pissed. He's just sitting there like, this fucking bullshit, really? AJ, they showed him during the games dying laughing during the fights. Like he's in his cafeteria at high school. He's like, oh shit, look at that, man.
That's what I mean. He's in this. I remember he had this powder blue suit on in one shot, and it looked so gigantic. And
he wore it.
It was gigantic.
If you went to school, everyone went to school with a kid like this who was a behavioral problem, but like he felt like that. His energy.
I was that kid.
His energy was that. Like he was just like, oh yeah. Like in the teacher, be like, AJ, we're trying to learn.
AJ,
I have to teach the rest of the kids. I don't want to yell at you too hard.
I know who your father is.
I don't want the horse here. You got to call.
Don't go bringing a horse and buggy up here.
This is the horse. The kid passes class, all right? T-Bone, here's a great quote. You get into someone's chest, you get into their heart,
That's
they're done.
It's literal. He meant that literal.
He said they wanted to recreate the Flyers, Philadelphia Flyers.
The Broad Street Bullies.
Teams of the 70s who were, I guess, big brawlers.
Yes, and but also this, I mean, I've told this story a million times when we went to the hockey game.
When your mom pulled the toboggan.
The toboggan,
through
yes.
the snowy
this is a big deal.
The 9-man toboggan.
It wasn't 9 men. It was only 4 of us.
Okay.
And this was my sister Karen had gotten punished because she was dating this guy Rudy, and my mom didn't want her to go out, so it was a whole thing.
She probably went to your dad's where she was treated like a queen.
It was this, right? That's where she got her good stuff. But this night it was, and I'll retell the story quickly. But it was the Broad Street Bullies, and on the radio it was such a bad snowstorm. They said if you could get there, they'll let you in for free. And they'll give hot dogs and hot chocolate for free. Everything was free. No one could get there. It was the worst storm. Yeah. But St. Louis was already in town, so my mom just put us on a sled.
Your mom's like, man, we're hungry and
we
cold.
Lost Billy. Yeah, we lost Billy in a snowdrift, between cars.
He may still be there.
I think that's what happened to him. We got him back, but
Johnny
and Charlie were
sure
older,
one of his arms is permanently black, but that happens.
But there was they were beating the shit out of, even there was nobody in this in the spectrum, and they were beating the shit out of people still. And Bobby Clark had checked this guy again, and his nose was like on the thing, and Billy was just like, and then my mom says Bobby Clark just smiled at him, but I remember Billy like just almost fainting, like sitting down, like what the fuck.
He was still woozy from the snowbank.
Possibly.
He was just, his blood was in it. He's like, oh, I'm freaking out. So these guys, they said if you do like what we want and you play hard on the ice, we give you whatever you want off the ice. These guys, they said they were going to the best restaurants in New York City.
Oh yeah, you saw the guys with the palm. That's so expensive.
They said
$6,000 dinners. Nobody said anything.
They said just checks. You're gonna live in the gated community by the lake.
Beautiful.
They're like every player was being paid under the table. This is where he talks about the checks from like 5 different companies. Every week.
But does no one know what money laundering is or how it works?
I mean, these guys are just idiot.
Oh, yeah, I guess
that Wingfield guy's just an idiot hockey. But he doesn't. I mean, I think he knows a vague understanding, but he doesn't get like fully what they're doing.
Okay, I love it. I'm in. I'll play.
The commissioner says you should never take the game of hockey and say, hey, how can we turn this into a 3-ring circus? He was pissed.
When the commissioner goes,
I love that was serious.
If you're going to do a 2-handed baseball swing.
That is banned. And they showed a guy do it to a guy's chest.
2-handed baseball swing. I was
T-Bone's
crying.
like, yeah, nice job.
But T-Bone was doing his other He was doing other stuff.
These crazy fans from Section 102 was like the fans of the Raiders. It was like the black hole.
Unbelievable.
These people are like...
These are my people. I would have been in that section.
The most dead... That in high school, I'd give me a 102.
Yeah.
They have the best fucking... They're bringing flasks. I think that's where the wheelchair lady and the guy...
Oh, okay.
That's probably where they were sitting, I would guess.
Of course. Yeah, they were a big part of it. But I love that Tommy was busy hiding equipment.
Yeah.
But a lot of teams do stuff like
in the
that.
80s, they would. I don't think they do it anymore.
Yeah, I think it... But he must have... That's a learned behavior.
Yes.
Like, they used to like turn the air off, turn the heat on.
The commission... I remember back in Boston when the Celtics would be in the playoffs, they would go to like the Lakers hotel with like a marching band in the street. They'd pull fire alarms just to keep them up all fucking night.
And there's that infamous story about even Jordan. They said that they poisoned him.
Yeah,
he was so sick.
I wouldn't eat at a restaurant if I were these guys.
Right? No, it's sketchy.
I'd have a friend.
You some food.
I'd have a friend order it and bring it back.
I'm good. Yeah.
So Tommy, I guess the commission said, was the only equipment manager ever suspended.
How dare they?
He was suspended
How dare they? That's psychological warfare.
He was turning off the hot water in the visiting team's locker room. He was hiding their goalie equipment.
Always funny.
He was giving teams paper-thin towels and leaving 6 for the entire team.
Can you imagine a big hockey player with like a hand towel or like a...
He was dying laughing when they were talking about it. He was like, yeah, right?
My hero. I got to figure out where he is.
He'll do that at your apartment if you piss him off.
Come on over, buddy.
The fans in 102 are throwing body bags onto the ice as lifeless players are there.
That's the other thing. Like, seeing people throw shit on the ice, it is so WWE meets hockey. Like, I'm boxing. I don't know. This is like a circle jerk of every great sport. I love it.
This is a meeting of the minds in this place. Real think tank. Section 102 is right behind
You can see all the equations around their head.
By the way, they're just like, oh, you got a body bag? Bring it on in. Have a good time.
Yeah, nobody's watching them come in.
Is there security?
Even as a wrestler, like my brother Johnny, his Michelle, my sister-in-law, his wife, my little sister Edie, my brother Tommy. Tommy's an artist. He would make big giant signs.
We saw one of his shirts on this show.
Absolutely, but he would make these big what's that called, paper mache, maybe it's a little thicker.
Yeah,
like he would make cutouts, carbon cutout, the kind of things of like for my wrestling show. It was little pictures of Easy Rider, and they came in and they were stopped at the door because they were too big.
Yeah,
for the wrestling show.
Not here.
Like, not here. No. Oh yeah, sure. What's that? What, you got a machete? Bring it in. Like, they didn't give a shit.
And that's the owner. They're like,
he was
the
wearing
horse.
it in his pants.
Yeah, they're like,
the horse didn't put it in there. He could cut quick.
Yeah,
he
the horse
could cut
would
something.
cut his penis.
You don't
off.
want to get circumcised. You're not taking any inches off that man.
So this 102 section is right behind the visitors' bench, of course, where they're screaming and going nuts. FBI's going to the Trashers games, getting some surveillance done, seeing who's with who's talking to who.
Fucking ruining everything.
Everything's
ruining everything.
Like any sports store, like a movie, or like, you know, they're gaining momentum, they're doing good, they're fighting. All of a sudden, screeching halt. Brad Wingfield's leg just broken in half completely.
When you saw it, by the way,
they said you could hear it, the snap.
You could hear the snap, but when he's on the ground,
he's freaking out.
He's freaking out, but how long? It took so long to get fucking medics out there or somebody.
This guy is...
Not even the players were coming over.
This dude's such a big, like, Neanderthal of a guy. He was just trying to get up over and over again. He wouldn't stop.
His foot was backwards.
He said one of his skates was backwards.
You could fucking see. I hate that.
So he says it was a dirty play. The guy hit him low in the legs and then pulled his jersey back, so he bent him backwards. Jimmy tells the team... He goes into the team locker room, I guess, between periods.
This is my favorite part.
And he says, that doesn't happen here.
No.
What are you going to do? So the Nigerian dude, he said he was good friends with, he goes, I was good friends with the winger. They didn't even say that was one of his nicknames, but it makes sense. His last name's Wingfield.
Wingnut.
So this guy the Nigerian dude just fights like 50 people in a row. He punched the guy on the bench.
Yeah, but when he grabbed the first guy, he fucking solid hit. I was like, holy shit.
He goes, when I hit him, I could feel his teeth on my knuckles.
I saw that in real time.
I was like, ugh. Jimmy starts arguing with the ref. The ref comes over. The ref says, hey, go fuck yourself to Jimmy. Jimmy punched him.
Now Jimmy's in a fight. That's beautiful. Now your owner is beating the shit.
I think this was T-Bone. He says Jimmy punched him right in the fucking face.
That's right.
You don't tell Jimmy to go fuck himself.
He's
lucky he didn't kill him.
But there's and this comes later. But you see the size of Jimmy when he's
with Wingfield.
Yeah,
he's like the
you're
same.
Like, ooh, shit.
He wasn't a small guy either.
No.
Jimmy gets fined and arrested.
Immediately.
He says, I'm a very loyal individual.
And the FBI is just jerking off in the corner. We got him.
They're like, this is great.
This is good.
Keep the footage rolling. Wingfield, so Wingfield's doing the interview now. And how he did this was great. I don't think he meant to because he's a fucking idiot.
You don't know that.
He's like, for an owner to do that? That's not necessary. And I thought he was like, oh, okay. He thinks this is like too far.
No, he knows what
and then
he's
he
saying.
goes, that was very cool. He loved it. I thought he was condemning it.
I immediately knew he was. I knew he was for it.
I love that he's
because they usually don't. They usually get mad at you. That's normal.
So Jimmy fucking does some doxing.
Well, hey man. Somebody fucks around, you're going to find out where they live.
He gets the address
and hit him
of
where
the guy
they breathe.
who hurt Winger. And he's like, we got his address.
What do you want us to do?
What do you want to do about it? And Tommy's like, he thought he was kidding. He thought it was a joke.
He thought he was kidding. Like this. He thought he was kidding.
With his cigar.
I can't. Head over heels, Tommy. Head over heels.
Good timing for these guys. The NHL gets locked out. They have a contract dispute.
Now it's us against the world. He says, it's and
they're getting more fans, but also AJ's like, hey, I can poach some NHL guy who will take a check.
It proves what you could do when you have followers.
And
a lot of followers.
And when you have a father,
a
father who will say, hey, here you go.
You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But the best, that year, 2005, I believe was a great year for the Flyers on that walkout.
Oh, so they got fucked?
I'm almost positive. I have to double check. Johnny Fax will yell it.
Oh, come on. Let me check my hockey almanac.
See because I remember that. I remember getting excited. The Flyers were about to be either in the playoffs or were in the playoffs, and that just went out.
Locked out.
So I forget what happened exactly. 2005.
This dude Michael Rupp, never heard. I don't know a lot about hockey, but he won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it was the Devils, right?
Year before the New Jersey Devils. They show footage of AJ at the game, of course. Who paid for the tickets? We all know. Are they good?
Yeah, I can't remember. I just remember being excited, and then it was canceled.
Season's gone. All 10 fans who watch hockey.
It was a walkout. It was
Earl Skakel.
Shut up, 10 fans.
People in Canada were like, "What?
You're
we need our
nuts.
hockey."
That's such a big deal.
So they go to this Michael Rupp guy. You want to play here?
And he's a big dude. He's a real deal.
He said he was. Yeah, he's like, this is a guy playing against minor league talent. You can imagine.
Yeah,
he goes in. It's a cakewalk. He's like, "Fuck yeah, I'll play."
It was easy. They did show the first couple scores, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
So he goes in there, and they go, and Jimmy meets with him, and he's like, I'm going to pay you cash. The guy goes, what do you mean you're going to pay me cash? He's like, I'm going to pay you cash. And the guy's like, I don't understand. He put it down. He gave him a duffel bag of money. He goes, all right, I'm in. I'll play.
Guess I'm playing in Danbury.
I told my wife. So then they intro this guy, Richie Galante, who's great. He's
Richie's so good.
He's the old man's right-hand man.
Right.
He showed him he was like a musclehead. He was like working out in the gym.
Doing like...
He's not only the right-hand man in the mob,
he's the shakedowner.
But he's also Scrappy, the hockey mascot for the team.
Always funny.
Guy dressed up in the mascot
Here's
costume.
a guy everybody fears, and then he's got to put a trash can over his head
on
and
the ice.
Dance on the ice.
Skates. I'm like, this guy can't skate.
He was just like, I was like, oh boy.
He's meeting kids.
He's like, I want to be part of it. But he needed to be on payroll, so you got to give him a title, and that was his title.
FBI liked him because he was talkative on the phone about business, so he got a wiretap on him.
Wait, when are you gonna learn?
That's when you heard the scary side of Jimmy. He goes, you tell that fucking motherfucker that he'll be fucking dead if he goes, tell him, and I quote, and I was like, yeah, and they're like,
and
all
the
right.
FBI's like,
You saw, I'm assuming this again is AJ's father, but John Cena came to a game.
Yeah.
It was a promotion. But
that was so cool.
John Cena was dressed up better than AJ. Because John Cena wrestles in denim fucking shorts.
He was wearing a Cena hockey jersey.
But also denim shorts.
naturally.
Because that's what he wrestled in.
But at this point, they're scalping tickets. Like, when are you? It's so high demand at this point. The FBI should go scratch their ass because this is
they
so
were
high
helping
demand.
the sellouts.
Yeah, kind of.
People are like, hey, can I grab that FBI guy? I wanted that seat.
He's like, you're not allowed to scalp tickets. All right, fine, do it.
So AJ is getting a ton of press and buzz. He's doing radio. He's doing TV.
Yeah.
There's news. This is when he was on SportsCenter. He's like, I grew up like watching SportsCenter.
Him and his dad.
Now I'm on the show.
That was great. That just the angles they did of that shot was
When he's like
phenomenal.
17, also he's like pimples.
Sure,
like
he's still
high
in
school.
college. He's still in school or whatever. I think it was college,
He's like,
right?
here's my college project: how I owned a hockey team. So the commissioner starts coming around. He starts to respect AJ. I had the same arc as the commissioner. I started off, I'm like, this guy sucks. And then by the end of it, I'm like, this guy's actually not that bad. He has a good heart.
That's the whole thing. They are good people. They're just in weird... With the dad.
They're gray area.
There's a gray area.
There's no black and white.
But the kid wasn't. The kid was full legit.
No, the kid,
full living his dream
but
here.
Via blood money, more or less.
Via money, he turned a blind eye on.
Yes.
Yeah, like how do we get that money?
Well, what's he supposed to? I mean, I guess he could go off.
Is
and be
the
like,
blood on that money from the game last night? Or
is that Wingers? Is that the Nigerian guys?
Should we get it tested?
The commissioner's like, he was making the league, like he was getting buzz for the league. He was making it a thing. He actually, and they're like, he made a good team, which was shocking.
Now it's like a real team.
Yeah.
Now they got to take them serious. They're really going to want to win this thing. And my favorite line ever happens right after this.
What happened?
Well, because Winger comes back and he goes, I'll decide when I can't play hockey.
Yeah, the doctor.
Not a doctor.
The doctor said your career's over, and Winger overruled.
Overruled.
Your Honor, I will be playing.
How dare you?
He's like, I've had 800 surgeries. This one ain't stopping me. FBI raids the trash business. Jimmy talks to the team. They got nothing. He's laughing, having
like,
a good
come
time.
on, guys.
He's like, who cares?
I'll deal with that. Don't worry about that.
You guys go out and win. Have a
I
good
got
time.
people hiding stuff like the equipment for the other team.
T-Bone's on it.
Nobody's business. Nobody's business. Just play the game, punch people in the face, do your thing.
So
try to score.
In a serendipitous turn, they're playing the team that hurt Wingfield for the finals.
This
for the
is
cup.
almost exactly like the Slapshot movie.
So
now they're going to win.
So this is the final game.
Yeah.
Wingfield's back. He somehow probably was just limping around. Who knows? AJ goes up to the guy who hurt Wingfield with a camcorder right behind the bench. Be like, look at your fucking face, man. Like talking shit to, but no one could do shit to him with his dad 50 yards away, and they'll kill you. That's the ultimate pass of like, I can do and say what I want.
Like that was where his spoiledness came in.
Yes.
Because he knew.
He knew you can't do shit to me. And he's in an arena where he has all these people.
Everybody,
will go crazy.
It wouldn't be, his father wouldn't even get there.
No.
Before all these people.
Section 102 would empty out. That lady would run over her.
The bench is clear, and then 102 comes
electric wheelchair would have ran over him. So Wingfield just beats the fuck out of this guy.
So good.
He grabbed him, the guy had long hair, grabbed him by the hair, and he's like, I'm just trying to slam his head into the ice as hard as I can. I'm like, you're going to kill someone. T-Bone said,
hockey.
T-Bone,
that's hockey.
This is where you may want to question your boy T-Bone.
No, I would never.
He says, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Two warriors going at it with no shirts on. The no shirts. I was like, why does he need to throw that? Why does he need to throw that one out there?
It's uncomfortable. But also when they went to commercial, it just said DT because it's Danbury Trashers.
Yes.
And all I could think of, here's the deal.
David Taylor. Comedian David Taylor. They cut the footage of the fight because it was so crazy.
Yeah. It was so bad.
AJ said, this has never been seen before, only on my footage.
Yeah, I mean, if you were there or if you were on my footage, you saw it.
They lose the game, though, and lose the championship.
Yeah.
Which was the perfect ending, obviously, is if they win. But
in this
isn't a
life,
movie.
It's,
it's not a movie.
That's right.
Maybe in the movie they will. Then things get
No,
worse.
they can't change it.
They arrest Jimmy. And they even get a mayor and a senator in the arrest. The senator had his daughter was being like harassed by a boyfriend. He goes to Jimmy for help.
Jimmy, do me a favor. Go over there. Why are these
I'll
politicians
send T-Bone,
such sissies?
T-Bone, put him into the board.
They can't talk to a kid?
They find out he was defrauding the hockey league because he was playing players way more than they were allowed.
What?
Yeah.
What? But they were doing extras. These are bonuses.
One of the guy, the one-eyed guy, goes, "We were being paid under the table." Goes, "Should I say that?" But it's like, dude, the guy went to prison for it. Like, it's all right.
Allowed to say that?
I think he's like, am I gonna get killed?
Right. He's like, I only have one good eye.
Yeah.
Can I say this?
I can't see people coming from this side.
Here's Jimmy. No, but also like when I wrestled, if you were like we used to get bonuses if you popped, like if you got the crowd going and stuff like that. So this is bonuses. Why can't he say that?
But it just wasn't allowed. It wasn't in the structure of the league.
How dare you? How dare you?
So they shut the team down. The people of Connecticut are fucking
Crumbs. A bunch of crumbs.
They're furious.
Bothering people.
They get in touch with the the district attorney. They're like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit."
Also, he was like at some of the games, wasn't he? Didn't they show the?
Yeah, I think he
was like shaking hands
Yeah.
with some of the players, all excited about this, and now he's like, Jimmy needs to go to jail.
They one of the FBI
All of a
agents.
sudden.
They set up at the beginning. He retires and he goes over to Jimmy's defense team, and he goes, in the business, I went to the dark side, as they say." And so Jimmy was facing 93 counts and over 100 years in prison. Yeah, that's a lot of charges.
That's a lot of counts. That's a lot of years. That's a lot of. So the counts weren't just for the hockey team. It was also the garbage.
Yeah, it was
like he said, I can't talk about
it.
It
was a potpourri.
Yeah.
He's like,
potpourri.
They asked him,
The best way
they're
to
like,
put it.
"How about your charges?" And he's like, "On counsel of my attorneys,
On the advice from my counsel,
I will not
I
discuss
cannot
that."
discuss my cases. So good.
But you can't be tried twice. No double jeopardy.
No, but you're still not allowed to talk about
Okay.
whatever.
I think
Some
that's
may
also-
have
it's
still
also-
been pending.
It's
and he
also a
had-
mob thing. But Jimmy, they go, "What's loyalty to you?" You can hear the producer, whoever, the director, talking to him. And it really flummoxed him. He was like, "Loyalty to me?" He's at his desk in an abandoned warehouse. He said, "People you think will stick by you, don't.
This is my favorite
And the
part,
people you think
too.
never in your wildest dreams will stick by you, they do."
And then they show the back of.
The commish. They bring the commish in.
He has no neck, but apparently he's got a spine.
They keep saying,
good one.
"Were you scared of Jimmy Galante?" And he said, "They asked me a million different ways. The
'Cause
answer
that's
was
what they try to
always
do.
no." He said no. He goes, "You know
no
what?"
neck, has a fucking
He goes,
backbone.
And he goes, "Jimmy wasn't a rat." And he's like, basically, neither am I. Because
well,
the commish.
also, yeah, it turned him around. He saw something exciting. And
probably,
he wasn't afraid of him. He did find him. He did fight with him. He did get in his face.
probably made him money, too, you would think.
Possibly.
I mean, he's obviously on salary, but it looks good for him to have like a good league.
Yeah.
FBI, though, they get Jimmy's soft spot. They're like, "Hey, maybe we look into AJ, what he's involved
Yeah, maybe
in."
this is what they do. They go for people around you. And
Leverage.
yeah.
So Jimmy's like, "Okay,
Spineless.
plea deal time." He gets somehow it gets from 100 years to 87 months in federal prison.
That's none of our business.
Yeah, what happened? Who knows? AJ,
What's wrong with you?
AJ said after that he turned his back on hockey, and the Trashers didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
He went to go drive oil trucks.
But
for
I
10
also
years.
like that he took it like a man. He didn't rat on anybody. He didn't turn on anything. I did that.
Now he's got to
I'll
be
take the time.
man of the house. This is a long time.
Well, now it's, 10 years, 12 years?
He's
10?
an adult now, too, yeah.
But he probably got more and then got off. Like the guy I was in love with in high school, he got, what did he get, 10 years, and then he got out in 6?
Yeah,
Something
you
like
always
that.
do
so
like
you
about
can do
half.
the good behavior.
But it's, who knows how he was behaving in there.
I have a
but
lot of letters. We used to write each other when he was in
You
prison.
should bring him in. I think
I'll
that'd
never
be-
do that.
Be nice to share.
Those are that's sacrilegious. That's my boyfriend.
I was shocked AJ was this
Imaginary boyfriend. Everybody knows
this
that.
was self-aware. He said a lot of my success has always been based on opportunities my father gave me. I was like, okay, well at least
Wait
he's
a minute.
honest.
It took a minute for you to learn that.
He decided to make a boxing club on his own. Part of me though is like, your dad didn't invest a dime.
Well, it's his dad's money, but it's also the hockey was making good money.
Yeah.
That league
This guy's
was coming in.
He's a good promoter, this guy.
Just, the dad was cleaning money, laundering money through it.
This guy, in my
You have to have a lucrative lucrative business to launder money.
In my opinion, this guy should have gone MMA because boxing, I think, is kind of a dying breed.
Yeah.
There are fighters who make big money, but this is not as, I don't think as much anymore. But he makes a boxing club. And AJ said him and Jimmy never really like sat down to talk about like the hockey because his dad just like was rushed away to prison, like over. They do it. They get him on camera, the two of them going through the arena together.
This is the beautiful Hollywood moment.
They're going to section. They're like,
what would be better?
Who's having a big reunion? Section 102 is at some dive bar. These two show up. They gave Jimmy a hero's hugging him.
100%.
They're loving him there.
But also, like, the couple that we love, and of course, their names are escaping me, but the couple that we love.
Emily, the town coordinator in the wheelchair.
And,
when they took the team away, he said, they made my girlfriend cry. I put my fist through the wall. I hate to see her cry.
Poor girl.
She got so motivated. She went and played.
She started playing hockey. I love them.
Is that a wheelchair league or she's just the only one?
No, it's probably a wheelchair league
she's
or
a
disability league.
Yeah, she's in the she's a goalie.
Oh, what an advantage to be a goalie. It's,
Did she put
I was going to say sliders in there so you can't get through the
No,
wheels?
I'm saying did she put like skate, what do you call them? The end of the skate under her wheels.
Oh, yeah.
So she'd get better movement.
Blades?
Yeah, blades. There you go. I could see her boyfriend really losing his mind at her games. Like, come on, say the fucking puck.
She's just hitting the wall.
Yeah.
It's awful. But that is awesome, though. That's how they were inspired.
And then the Section 102 reunion was a beautiful time. They were showing it was like all walks of life. Cool. A woman who looked kind of like a librarian there. Guys full of tats.
But that's what I mean. For this town, this small town, it brought them together.
T-Bone said about Jimmy's prison time, he did his time like a Danbury Trasher.
That's right.
What does that mean? Is he fighting in there?
Yeah. Well, no, like he did it. He took it.
He took it like a man.
He took it like a man. That's what I'm saying. He took it like a man. The bad boys of hockey, man. We got to bring them back.
Emily, the wheelchair talent coordinator.
Don't say that. She doesn't look like her.
Her boyfriend, her husband, said he's going to be buried in his Trashers jersey. And he showed the paperwork of his will. That said it.
This is great.
That's going to be a great funeral, by the way. How many Budweisers are going to be?
I may go to it.
With T-Bone on your arm.
Yeah.
Cigars forever. You were both smoking cigars.
Arm in arm. I'm so excited. When we start dating, you're going to be really upset.
Wingfield, I would love it. It would be good for me.
We'll bring him in. He'll sit right there.
Wingfield, that would be awkward. Wingfield on camera was like, I kind of hoped that like Jimmy would be in my life forever. Like it just kind of ended. And
yeah,
just,
but he got scared. Not scared, but when all the indictments start coming down,
he's like, hey,
it's uncomfortable. You're like,
hey,
are we gonna be held?
Yeah, and it's like, hey, man,
we knew what was happening.
Am I losing all this money I made? Like
they didn't know where it was coming from, but they knew it was coming in.
So all of a sudden you hear like, hey, big guy off camera. Jimmy surprises him. Wingfield starts crying.
Literally.
Because he's crying? Good. He's like, come on.
Oh, the big hug.
Yeah, he's like, what's wrong?
And they were the same size.
Yeah, they were like equally.
I was like, whoa.
Wingfield was a little thicker, but yeah, the same, like built pretty similarly.
Right.
I was like, Jesus.
But I'm saying that's a big fucker because in the beginning they were like, when Jimmy came in.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you, like, everyone was scared.
You listened, you got scared, whatever.
They said he would be silent, and the brothers were like, say something, man, you're killing us.
Like, we're sweating. Yeah.
My one complaint, this to me was, I loved it.
Yeah.
One complaint, I wanted updates at the end of what everyone, not only AJ, I wanted to know, like, what's Jimmy doing for work now? What's Wingfield up to?
Right.
I want to know where these guys are. What's going on?
Yeah, is Tommy single? Like, there's a lot of stuff.
Will Tommy date Eleanor?
We have to find out.
Will the wheelchair lady make a save in the next game?
Okay, but most stories, most of the documentaries we watch, they're either too long, you know, unnecessary series. Mm-hmm. And this one, they were like, we're only giving you...
No, this was told
by gangsters.
Perfect length.
They left a lot out.
Which was great. I had no problem with that. I thought the length of this was perfect.
Yeah. They're like...
when you see like a 2 hour...
Literally, we're giving you just the meat.
All action.
Yeah. All action, all... all you needed to know.
They had amusing music throughout, like really like.
We don't know the wife's name.
Nothing.
We don't know the sisters.
Nothing.
We don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Literally, that's how you tell a story.
So there is a movie being made, because I was trying to find stuff about this, but I couldn't really find much.
Because it really got you excited.
They're doing. Yeah, I was.
You can't find much. That's the problem.
There's a movie where David Harbour from Stranger Things.
I like him though. You said that, and I kind of like him.
You like him as Jimmy?
He's a big dude,
but he's like
He's a big guy.
Jimmy is that quiet intensity, where Hopper's like kind of a louder.
That's in this show that you watched.
Yeah, that's true.
So
maybe
now,
he can do it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is called acting, Jeff.
Fezco will play AJ.
Oh, if we can get Fezco.
Hey, like I'm gonna.
I mean, if we can just finish casting it for them, that would be amazing.
I gotta get like the Trashers, I want to be in Section 102.
I do too.
In the movie,
I'll be an extra in 102 or T-Bone's wife. It's up to you.
T-Bone,
it's up to you.
I think T-Bone should play himself, personally.
100%.
You can't get that kind of acting.
You're never going to get
How great was seeing in the home video his hair, like, as it would go bald? He had, like, a little bit as a coach.
I love bald men.
And then it was going back later.
Yeah,
and then
don't get weird plugs. I'm with you. I'll stay with you. I got this.
He started shaving. Was he wearing? He was wearing, like, the tinted glasses.
Of course.
Like, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
With those stogies. Wonder what is he doing?
Alpina's I love this guy.
What's he up to now?
This is my guy.
I need to know what he's up to.
We need docs on him.
Yes.
We need docs on...
Get a camera on AJ at 24/7.
I want to see this hockey team that this young lady's in.
That'd be a good one.
I want to be at the funeral when the husband's in the Trashers uniform.
The husband had a great stash, a great creep stash.
He was so little. He was little.
He had a good ratty stash.
Yeah, I want to know how they met.
I think they met
how
here,
she got
probably.
in the chair. I want to know all of it.
Who knows?
Yeah.
To me, overall,
I thought it was excellent.
Tell me if you agree with this. The Trashers team in the Trashers environment at the arena, their arena, which they called Hell.
Yeah.
And AJ, by the way, made a shitty school project video for the big game, which was like his face with flames around it to motivate the team.
Right. That was funny.
But I think the whole environment is like the early 2000s to mid 2000s comedy store.
I did the same. I did the fucking same.
It was the same.
Jeffrey, pound it, definitely.
It was that vibe of like lawlessness.
I was like, this is the store. This is, and I was thinking of Simone. Steve Simone always said that it was Animal House. And the Laugh Factory was Needlemeyer,
the
that
other
crew.
fraternity.
So we were Animal House.
When I think he said also it was the Island of Misfit Toys.
The Land of Misfit Toys.
And it was like this ragtag group of idiots. It was
Just,
very similar.
We ran
I was watching
our own thing. We did. And people still have tremors from it. They can't come.
Mitzi was gone at that time.
She wasn't in as much.
Because I remember,
wasn't fully gone, but she would still come in once in a blue moon.
Fraser Smith, radio great, still doing stand-up. He told me, those days Mitzi was gone. The inmates were running the asylum.
I always say the inmates are running the asylum.
He said, it reminded me of Westwood, because Westwood Comedy Store, they said it wasn't as hands-on.
Mitzi didn't go there.
They said it was like that. He said it made me feel like that era again.
In fact,
audiences weren't coming, but it was crazy.
No, in Westwood they were, but
not
for us.
At the 2000s, there was zero. That's why there was more antics. It was crazy.
But there was how you tease me and Andrew say we do public theater.
Yes.
So they would do that at the end of the night. Like this guy Joey Gaynor, I think, and Dice, they would wrestle.
He said Kinnison would just scream, "Get the fuck
crazy
out!"
shit! And they used to put real wax candles on the tables back then. And so when they were wrestling one night, Joey got hit with hot wax, and that was they were like, all right, it was getting too much.
You know how many tables I saw broken by comedians?
Oh my goodness!
I remember Dean's like, bro,
blowjobs on stage.
Oh,
I mean, awful, horrendous, crazy, anything you could think of.
You know how many comics I've heard say, either I don't go to the Comedy Store to this day.
Sure.
And I go, do you realize how different it is now?
Most of them are women.
But they're also,
I apologize.
They're also guys. And they're like, I don't like it. I feel it's a bad
vibe
there.
There's guys, too, that are still like, I don't go there.
When I worked at the Comedy Store.
Some guys came back when it got busy.
Corporate, too.
corporate.
Felt safer.
Now it's corporate. And they came back and they were like, oh, I love it here. And it's like, you never came here. You were afraid of it.
The employees wear Old Navy Janet Jackson headsets. Back in the
Not
day.
all of them. Do they all still?
I don't think they do anymore. They used to.
They did when it was
corporate.
When it was busy.
Yeah, now.
Oh,
but
boy.
back in the day, like you're like, what?
Nobody.
You just yell, like, hey, where is anybody? I can't
Help!
find anyone.
Help!
Is anyone here? They're like,
Rape!
they're on the clock. Who knows where they are? But what was I gonna say? Oh, so I'm working the door at I'm working at the back door. It's where the belly room show goes up. Mm-hmm. And David Taylor would just like hang around.
Taylor.
And his move would, and he always did this. To this day, I think he does this. Jeff, have you met so-and-so? It was always a woman, and I'm like, that's not what I'm here for. But then he would just like walk away, and you're just stuck with this person you don't know, you've never met, and you're weirded out. They're weirded out. And you're just like,
yeah.
So he did that. Jeff, do you know Christina Pazisky? It just walks away. And I'm like, we didn't know. I go, yeah, we've never, how you doing? Like, nice to meet you. And she's like, yeah, I really don't like being here.
Yeah.
Was like
she was one of the ones that
was like freaked out. And so then I was just like, like, I get how it feels.
Like it was unsafe.
I said, like, I get how it feels, like rough and tumble. And I like just talked to her like a normal person.
Yeah.
She saw I had like no motives, nothing. I wasn't doing anything weird.
But I feel like Tommy made her feel a little.
Oh, I'm sure.
Tommy got her to like kind of start hanging out a little
talent
bit.
coordinator.
Because Segura, didn't he showcase but never?
Yeah, I saw him showcase.
A couple times.
Yeah. But so she was like, and so we were just talking, just like, and at the end of the conversation, she was like genuine, goes, thank you very much for talking to me like that. Like it made me feel a little bit better.
She's real, yeah.
And it like passed the time for like, now I'm going to go up and do my spot.
Okay,
like,
now I'm going to.
Thank you for like.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nobody came at me. But there's all these. I don't know if because we've talked about this being Christina. I don't know if she's witnessed it. I can't remember if she witnessed it or just heard things.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't. There's some that are like pretty famous now that refuse.
Yeah,
refuse
women.
to come in terrified. Women, yeah.
But also.
And I get it.
Yes, but not everyone was. That's also I think needs to be said. Is you can't say the whole place because that's not.
It wasn't all of
people
us.
People like no, everyone was. It was not. There was were there predatory people, but there are predatory people in comedy as we've seen.
There's predatory people in nightclubs. There's predatory people in your day job. There's predatory people
at any comedy club.
Everywhere.
Look around at people who've gotten in trouble. What club they were doing? Every club.
Every single.
It wasn't
club.
only like That's what's annoying is like.
They definitely pinpointed the Comedy Store because people just didn't like it because it was a
feel to it was aggressive.
It was
for
pretty
sure.
aggressive, but also like a lot of people didn't get booked there. So
yeah, there was that
because the owner was in her own.
She was particular,
very particular, and it was like, oh fuck them, they didn't book me, and so that's where it started. And then like if they hear stories, they just add to it.
And I think to this day, some people think, but it's so different now. It's like, no, it's not even the same, close to the same
Not
place.
even close. You can't do any of that. I went to hug a bartender, and they were like, be careful. I was like, wait, what?
The Wild West days are over, for
Boo.
sure.
But yes.
I'm glad that, because if I were my age now, then I would have been like, this sucks. But it's because I was young then, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good time. Man, some of the memories. Like I tell on Beach Cops, Ryan O'Neill and I tell our friend Andrew DeWitt, who's on the show with us, stories. And he's like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
Like, he's like, your stories.
Oh, yeah.
But these are just like, to us, like, oh, it's the what do you mean? It's a normal story.
And like, I believe like Diaz got in trouble because he was embellishing in the story he told on the early
Diaz.
Rogan thing.
Yeah.
But he was embellishing. But there was 2 girls that would come and say, let me do that. And they did.
You mean?
And it was more, it wasn't for stage time. It was more for drugs.
Okay.
Yeah. It was never for stage time. It was always for drugs. He just switched it and changed it. But those girls still come around sometimes. Like they're all sober and cleaned up. Do
you remember the high-class hookers who found a home at the Comedy Store? They were just like, yeah.
Wait, the English girls or?
No, they were high-class
Okay, because
hookers.
there was 2 English girls, too, for a while. But these I know exactly.
They were like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
They just
this is beautiful.
They just started hanging out.
It was like, oh, wait, there's no cameras down here?
Yeah,
like, there was a lot. Like
they just start. Porn stars have always gravitated toward the to this day still at the Comedy Store. I've seen people like, you're on OnlyFans? Like, yep. Oh, yeah. How did I know? The Trashers. The
Trashers.
Trashers.
We're the Trashers of Hollywood.
Trashers of comedy.
You could cast all of us. We'll. You know what? The Comedy Store Dead Years can be Section 102.
Yes, that's what
Some of the survivors from it,
Well,
not the real bad people, and not the but we're in the middle. We're middle grounders.
It bothers me when I hear a comic.
We did dumb shit, but we didn't hurt anybody.
Yes. And we have good heart. Most of us have good hearts,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the Galantes. But we are in a gray area. There's some gray area. Yeah, sure. No one's completely good or completely bad. A little gray. It bothers me when I hear comics, and I hear it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm a Comedy Store. That's my home. And I'm like, but you know what your image of it isn't the real image.
Right.
They were brought in when they were like bigger in comedy.
It's also just corporate. It changed.
They come early. They
past
leave
10
early.
years have
If you've never experienced a late night there as either an audience member or a comedian, I don't think you know the place at all. I'll say that. If you worked there, I've been there 3 in the morning. Like when I used to work there till 3 in the morning, 3:30, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
They'd be like, keep it open. Back in the day when there weren't a lot of rules, they'd be like, keep it running, keep it moving. You're like, fucking 4 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we used to lock it up and stay in there.
There were guys who were sleeping in there back in the day, overnights.
Sure. But our favorite thing was to lock it up and stay in there. And
it's
then
like a party, slumber party?
Yeah. The bar staff would shut everything, but I knew all the codes. So they were like, oh, we need more beer. And I'm like, all right, one more, and that's it. Like, one more case.
Where's all the beer going?
So, I mean, we would try to be not crazy, but we would just sit in there and tell stories, smoke, talk shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. Some people were fucking. One time I did walk in the OR at like 3:30 in the morning, and one of my waitresses was fucking the manager on the original room stage.
I'd say no one's been fucked in that building in 5 years, and that's a crime, at least.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was a lot of fucking going on.
A comic that came later, and I've said his name on the podcast before, but he got mad at me, so I'm going to not say it on this one. But he literally was like, we're locking doors now?
What the fuck? What are you guys trying to prove?
It was truly shocking.
What are you guys getting uppity? A business. A fucking place of business.
It's a real business. It's a real business now, so if you were terrorized before, come back. You'll enjoy it now.
Hand on the Torah, which is what we do in Jewish court.
We don't do it. I'll put my hand on the Torah.
I never did anything sexual in the Comedy Store.
Oh, I gotta take my hand off the Torah.
Was I sexually harassed? Yes.
Oh,
numerous
of course.
times.
Yes.
But back in those days, there were guys doing multi-people sex parties with audience members.
Sure.
Was the woman's husband at the hotel next door while this was all happening? Perhaps.
I had numerous offers.
From audience or comics?
Audience.
Probably comics too, I would say.
Audience, and then they would be like, can you get that comic to come? And this is when I was waiting tables.
Oh, to like have a threesome?
Oh, yeah. Can you get that comic to come? Can you get this person to come?
Very interesting.
Well, swinger parties were big. The things craziness.
Yeah, I think nowadays is none of that. It's
yeah,
sad.
Nowadays they're all holding hands and singing
Nowadays,
Kumbaya.
guys are like,
go over there.
Nowadays you can walk down the hall and hear like, what kind of private jet you got? What do you pay your pilot? Oh, is that a new Tesla in the lot?
The
real
like, where are the broke comics are like, can we get main room spots? Is that going to help? I mean, I have to pay my rent.
Yeah. You mean the me's of the world?
Me's.
When I was working the door at old school I won't say his name. He's not a known guy.
No, I'm thinking of like those comics
this guy came
that
through.
I came
this guy came through, went up to Bobby Lee and said, can I have $10? I need to buy some socks.
Oh, man. That breaks my heart.
Glory days. Yeah. And I was like, I want to stay in the business for this.
Sure. I
want to get to the point where I'm begging for socks.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Guys
that broke
like,
my heart.
hey, you don't know me. I was here like 30 years ago. The guy started hanging around.
Oh,
shit. And he would
shit.
just talk your ear off. And I was like, dude, I have no cash to give you. Sorry, man.
Oh, that sucks. But the ones I'm talking about are really funny comics.
The Trashers.
They do like cruise ships, or they'll do like just corporates because they figured out how to be clean and, that kind of thing. So they're surviving, but they're not on jets, or they're not on
Yeah.
They're surviving.
I've heard, hey, look at this watch,
As
man.
one comic,
look at this Rolex.
I think it was Jackson Purdue who said like, he goes, I'm like that. Remember the cartoon where the cartoon character would be walking. I can't think if it was like a mouse or something. I'm not good at cartoons.
This is your description?
I hate cartoons. And the things would be moving, and he would just, like a hedgehog or something, get on the next one.
You're talking about Tom and Jerry, you idiot.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's construction, and they would have the bar.
Yeah, then he would
just go seamlessly.
evenly land.
Yes.
But everything
it's been used
was moving.
a lot, yes.
Yes. So he said it like that to me years ago.
That's
he said
his career?
He said this like 20 years ago. So I think of it all the time, 20 or 30 years ago, like literally when I first started. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So, and then I was like, I should have listened harder because now I'm that person. Oh, shit.
You just keep walking.
Damn it.
Just keep walking over those bars.
Just keep walking, hoping that thing just shifts to the side and I fall through.
Danbury Trashers.
Damn.
I want some Trashers merch.
I'll figure it out.
Tell AJ to send us some.
I'm working in Connecticut.
By the way, AJ's producing the movie, of course. The Trashers movie.
AJ,
how could he not? It's
I'll be in Connecticut on, let me see, the 21st.
Hit him up. I'm sure he's on Twitter.
Yes, Friday the 21st with Andrew Dice Clay. Look it up, and we'll come by.
He's got to be a Dice fan.
Oh my God, Dice could play a character in that.
Does Dice know Jimmy? Galante.
I don't know.
The Trash Man? Jimmy the Trash?
The garbage guy.
T-Bone? I'm over here now.
There was another comic that I met, and I go, Andrew, he says he's friends with you. He goes, the garbage man? Like, it wasn't a garbage man. I think his dad was that, so it stuck in his head.
Oh, boy.
So
Not much
funny.
sticks in that head.
It does.
Oh, sorry.
He's a brilliant man.
He could play T-Bone, by the way, if they like, give him a bald wig.
Oh, no. I don't like him as that one.
Okay, sorry.
Because I'm too attracted to T-Bone. But I like, there's others. Yeah,
Okay.
he could get in there. Definitely. So we'll make it happen, AJ. But I definitely say yes to this one.
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
The
Check
last
it out.
two, I say do it with tissues.
This one, you'll feel good.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy yourself.
And it's funny because Emily said that's more of a feel-good one. And I was like, it is.
She likes it because she was in it.
Shut up. That's not her. I'm telling her.
Give me spots.
I'm never telling her
It's a
because she
flattering
won't give me
comparison.
spots.
It's a flattering comparison.
You're never going to get it.
Yeah, I'm done. All right, that'll wrap
Thank
it up.
you guys.
Check it out.
Like, subscribe, all that shit.
5 stars, text.
Stars, bad reviews, good reviews, all of it.
Call
Say
us.
whatever. Call me, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Call me.